Gavin, and welcome to Beyond the Ball with me, Collie. This week I'm joined by Conor. Conor, what's the crack?
How are we?
And big Paddy. Paddy, what's the story?
Hi.
Lads, we're watching the Ireland and Armenia game. Ireland at home to Armenia, so a loss is unthinkable, isn't it? Isn't it unthinkable? There's no way we can lose to this.
Expected, I would say.
Also, if we lose, we will be getting relegated from the Nations League to Group C, which would be extremely embarrassing, to be honest. What?
What happens then if you get relegated to Group C?
Everyone looks at you and says you're fucking shy. That's what happens. Even worse than you are.
Against the Eskimos now.
yeah, you get thrown into the sea. Lads, we'll go through the team real quick, right? We have Gavin Bazunu in goal, who plays in the Premier League. We have Dara O'Shea, Nathan Collins, Premier League, John Egan, former Premier League, Matt Doherty, Premier League, Jason Malumbu. He's with Brighton, was he?
No, he wasn't.
Oh, okay. Jeff Hendrick, former. Is he former?
He's not still at Newcastle, is he?
I don't know. Anyway, Jason Knight, Robbie Brady, Obafemi, and Troy Parrott up front. So, lads, not
I put in the book for Jeff Hendrick and
Matt Blurry.
Jeffrey Dalmer just came up. Same thing, really.
Lads, before we go into, we are going to be talking. We're obviously going to be doing the podcast as well during this. We will have it on the side, so we'll be watching it. So, we talk a little bit about the Scotland game. Lads, I know I put a post up on Instagram. Seemed to trigger a few people because apparently I don't know anything about football because I have an opinion on football and managers, and I don't support Ireland. So apparently I'm clueless to every single bit of football that goes on, and I'm not allowed to have an opinion. So
I'm glad you finally realised it.
Couldn't agree more.
So we had 45 minutes of decent football against Scotland, and then lost 2-1. Conor, what was your full assessment of that game? I know everybody's saying, no, the performance was great. We played out from the back, great. Did you think it was as comfortable as everybody's saying in terms of like playing out from the back? Like, I think there was one little spell where it was a Nathan Collins hits a good volley out as well. That could easily go wrong. But you put yourself under so much pressure with something like that. What was your thoughts on how we played against Scotland?
I don't mind the playing out from the back when it's on to play out from the back. And against Scotland, it seemed to be. It was definitely Lyndon Dykes on his own up front, and that's really how they approach the game. So playing out from the back is on to play out when they have one big stick playing up front. And they got out from the back well. They kept possession of the ball. Didn't exactly trouble too much. Especially how poor Craig Gordon was in goal. I thought they would have had a little bit more of a flurry in and around the box. Just seemed to lack that killer pass in the final third, really. But yeah, possession-wise, it was good, but possession doesn't win football games, you know. And I know we weren't favourites to go out and beat Scotland in fucking Hampden Park. Not many teams go there. And I think they're unbeaten there in their last 6 or 7 Nations League games. I haven't been beaten in the Nations League at home yet. So it's not an easy place to go, but I don't agree with calling for his head off the back of a defeat away to Scotland. But again, I don't agree with saying he's the best thing since sliced bread after a defeat away to Scotland. It's a defeat away to Scotland, and that's it. It's not good. It's not what we went out for. We had a draw before we started, so it's not a thing to be praised at, and it's not a thing to be slighted over either. I don't think.
I think you're talking shite. Paddy, what did you think of it? What like we're saying, I know you're kind of an advocate for Kenny, aren't you? You like the way he plays and what he's doing for the team, don't you?
My input on this is probably about as useful as an ashtray on a motorbike. I haven't a fucking clue. I didn't watch the match. I don't know. I just read the comments to your posts that you put up and laugh. But yeah, I honestly don't see, like, looking at the bits and pieces I do, look, I don't see any manager really doing a better job. I really don't. Like, it's just he's playing with what we have.
I know, but like,
did you really see a big Sam coming in and making a big difference there? Yeah,
because he'll play a style. I had an argument with one of the lads in work because he said to me, "Well, what would you do? What would you do if you had that team?" And I'd say I'd play them to a style that I think suits the players we have. And he's like, "Yeah, but like, how do you know that?" And I was just like, "Well, like, you learn from it. Like you learn that like if you play out from the back and you get caught, if you've won 3 competitive games, something's not working, you need to change it up. Like I said, I can only go off results. Whatever about performances, you can have good performances, but if you don't get the results, it's pointless. And I've seen some ridiculous comments on the Instagram post where they're saying, I'd rather Ireland are now watchable. I'd rather watch that than fucking than have them play absolutely shy football. So you're saying you weren't watching them before, and you're now slagging me for being a critic when you said they weren't watchable before. So you probably didn't watch half the games before that. So like, do you know what I mean? It's kind of fucking catch-22 there. What?
You say you get another manager in, but Martin O'Neill and Roy Keane they were still getting bad results as well, and that was a different style of football as well.
They got to the Euros, Paddy, as well.
Got to the Euros. We qualified for a major competition.
Yeah,
that's
but
all I want to say.
We're coming towards the end, like, because they lost a couple of players when we were in the Euros, and then after that, then they went a bit shit.
Mick McCarthy left us when we were in the playoffs. Do you know what I mean? He left us in a good position to go through to another tournament and left us in the playoffs, and then we fell apart. 3 competitive wins in, 13 games? Is that good enough?
No way. No.
That's not good enough. Like, and
tomorrow.
I agree with the squad debate as well, that the squad's not good enough, but we have better players than the Bakers in Armenia, you know?
Exactly. And that's why everyone keeps saying to me.
Definitely keep them.
We went out there, we played well out there in Armenia, but at the end of the day, we got beaten 1-0 by Armenia, which I don't think they've ever won a game.
I think they finished the game and they went out and started fucking building a wall then after, like, do you know what I mean? Because half these fellas are fucking nobodies, like, and then we're saying, well, we don't have the squad to beat this.
So you're saying brickies are nobodies?
Just saying, in football terms, yeah, I would say that, yeah. But like, that's a free kick. It's not. No, but like in terms of like the squad and like people saying like, right, okay, I see this thing where we're like, oh, we have a clear path now into the senior setup with a great under-21s team who are, by the way, I don't know what score the fucking match was.
They're playing right now, actually, aren't they? I was going to
ask. Right now,
are you Kenny in or Kenny out?
Me?
Conor.
Oh, I'm the Kenny hokey pokey. For me, he's in now.
At the moment, where are you?
He's in. He has the Euros. He has the European qualifiers. For me,
that doesn't answer my question though. Are you Kenny?
He's in until the end of the European qualifiers.
Yeah, he is in, but are you Kenny in or Kenny out?
I'm Kenny in until he qualifies for the Euros.
For Kenny, okay, fine. So, right, I think the way we frame this is Collie, you give me your reason why you're Kenny out, and like a reasonable argument, and then Conor, you give the why he's in, and then you can kill each other now.
No, so like my whole thing is I understand everybody's thing. I'm going to start from the start because when I put this post out, I got abused.
We've got 80 minutes left in the game, Kyle.
Exactly, yeah. So we can start from the start. When I put that post out, and I've done it before, and I've put posts out, my thoughts on Stephen Kenny coming into Ireland is that he's class and it's 1-0. Oh, no, it's not.
He's offside anyway, I think.
Yeah, he's offside. What was I saying there?
You started at the start because you got lashed out on Instagram.
Oh, sorry, yeah. So I've done a few posts.
Your mum and dad fell in love. They made love.
So it all began in 1991 when I was born, right? No, 91, yeah. But right, so look, I'm gonna go straight through it. You can tell me where you think I'm going wrong here. Kenny taking over for me was a shit show from the start because that whole thing of Mick McCarthy has 1 year. And then you're taking over after a year, regardless of what happens. That for me was a fucking mind fuck. I was like, why? So if this guy does absolutely terrible with the under-21s, which is where he was before that, he's automatically going into that position. If he's proven that he's not up to it and he can't get the best out of a team, not saying because he's not a good coach and he's not a good manager, because he doesn't have the time to drill his philosophy into a team because they're not a club, they're an international team. So it's very difficult to put your stamp on a squad or a team if you haven't got that much time. So go on, you were going to say something.
Yeah, but look at all the other like nations around the world and how the managers get the best out of their team and the way they want to play, and they're playing in systems that the manager wants them to play them in. If Kenny's that good of a manager, as you said there a minute ago, like you're saying, oh, he's a good manager, but it's not. It's at an international level. And I understand they have less time, But after this amount of time, should he not now? No more chances. The
Oh,
team
well,
should be
100%.
playing in his style now.
He shouldn't have had any more chances after he started losing to Armenia and before and when he was losing and drawn against fucking shy teams. Like as soon as like the results were bad, I was on him straight away because I just thought that we had the likes of Seamus Coleman. I remember at the time saying Seamus Coleman is now playing for Carlo Ancelotti and he has to come back over to play for Stephen Kenny. I was like, how can you find motivation for that? Now I know playing for your country and representing your country should be a self-motivator that you don't need much to get you going. But for me, if you go to, look, I've done it where I've gone to teams and I've had a manager, but I've played under a better manager, and you kind of think to yourself, this is kind of bullshit. This training that we're doing, it's kind of harsh shit. Like I don't like this training. The other training I did was better. You kind of don't put in as much effort. You kind of lose your kind of go on. You kind of lose that motivation. I think anyway. Maybe these are professional players. They don't lose, but I think they do because looking at the results, that would indicate they do. So then the other thing is this whole so obviously we're going back to the contract where he was given the year coming in after year, blah blah blah. McCarthy left him when they were in the playoff, which I think was also wrong because McCarthy probably should have taken over that game. Now I know it was delayed and I think it was COVID and stuff like that, so he had no idea how long it was going to be pushed out. So I understand that he probably just wanted, right, that's me gone. I'm not going to wait around to possibly lose a fucking.
The reason as well, Collie, with that one was because his contract was to stay until the end of the Euros, but the Euros was delayed until 2021 anyway. So he was never going to, even if he had played the playoff, he wasn't around for the tournament. So he thought, look, I'll leave now and get a job. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, fair enough. So his whole thing was if he did actually win that match, then he would have had to fucking stick around again. So obviously that's not what he wanted to do. So that's where I think it wasn't really fair on him, but at the same time, we definitely could have gone through there, and he definitely could have got a result in that playoff. So I don't think that's his fault. Not winning that playoff, that's not entirely his fault. He's come into a new setup, but he should be understanding what type of system he wants. And these players, and like I said, this is what I was going to go back to about not being able to drill your team with a system when you don't have them every day. The other thing about that is the flip side of that is these lads are playing in the likes of the Premier League, the Championship, the fucking League 2. These lads are playing in these type of systems every day. So they should still be able to adapt pretty quickly to a system like that. So that's why I get very heavily critical over his type of system, because it's not like these players aren't able to play that type of system. I just don't think it suits them. Like this whole playing out from the back, for me, gets us into more trouble than we asked for, than we need. And we don't have that quality to recover. Like against the likes of Armenia, fair enough, we could play it. But we're trying to do it against the likes of Portugal, against the likes of fucking Holland or whoever else we've played. But I don't think that system suits. And that's why I'm very heavily critical over it when I see the results. I understand everybody wants to play brilliant, attractive, sexy football and watch it for 90 minutes and be entertained. But I would rather watch 90 minutes of pure shite and win 1-0 with an own goal every single game and get to a major tournament than fucking attractive football and lose to Armenia.
You have to say that you supported Jose Mourinho's Chelsea for years.
Look, I was talking to the lads in work about this, and they said, like, oh, what's your favorite style of football? I was like, I'm a defender. I like to see defensive football. I would much rather watch a defender defend like a fucking king for 90 minutes than fucking Raheem Sterling doing fucking, I don't know, a little ballet up front and running like a dinosaur and T-Rex and jumping over the ball and doing step overs. That's not cool to me. To me, being cool, smashing someone in the tackle, getting up, putting your body on the line, winning the ball in the air. That to me is more attractive than this whole passing out the back. Defenders should be playmakers almost, and I'm not a fan of that. That's why I don't like the system. So for me, Kenny was already getting off on the wrong foot by playing an attacking system for the players we don't suit. And if we win, that's after prison. If we win, all of a sudden, we do have the good players, and our players are fantastic, and they're able to play this system like champions. But as soon as we lose, and there's any criticism of Stephen Kenny, everybody just jumps on. No, the players just aren't good enough. They're not good enough. It's horseshit. It's horseshit, and it's the only people that do it is League of Ireland players or League of Ireland fans. Sorry. and then people who haven't a fucking clue about football. There's 2 of them, and that's it. And that's where I get the abuse from, is both of them. So that's my...
Right, so okay, so
yeah! And Stephen Kenny, like I always said, is an absolutely unbelievable manager. But look at that, a defender scoring. Do you know what I mean? That to me is better. Now, why not just defend like fucking animals for 90 minutes and get a goal like that? Because that's where we score most of our goals, from headers, up like corners. Shane Duffy is our top scorer in the last fucking 10 years or something.
I seen somebody putting a fairly long reply to one of your posts, and it made a lot of sense. He was pro Kenny, obviously, but he was talking about, you know, the longer like he has with the team, he's building for the future. The average age of the team is quite young, you know, and he made a lot of good points. So if we get a top class or an experienced manager in, and he comes in and he might get us to one tournament out of the next 3, and he wins the odd game, is the long term, is this pain now not worth it if in the end we have a better Ireland team in the long run?
So what for you is a better Ireland team? So the one thing that I heard people saying is about I did bring this up already and I forgot to go back to it, but the under 21 setup, and the whole thing is that, Paddy, I think I can hear it. Is there feedback coming from someone? Is someone watching it?
No, I'm not watching it.
No, okay, you just can't hear it. Okay. So the one thing, is the under 21 setup, and everybody's saying like, oh, there's a clear pathway to get into the senior team. And my kind of thought process on that is, if you're in the 21 setup and you're good enough, you'd probably be already in the senior team. You don't wait till you get above 21 to start hitting that senior team.
Right.
So I think that anybody, now I don't know whether they're planning on okay, you'll use these players. I think what the average age is 23 or something like that, quite young. Use them till they're 27, 28. But sure, then at that time you've got a new under 21s, and do you know what I mean? It's just a vicious cycle where everybody keeps going. The under 21s are going to come into this team and they're going to be great, but you have what you have. Do you know what I mean? They're going to develop with time, obviously, but I don't know. I don't see
this 21s and all. I'm talking about fundamentally changing the way Ireland play in terms of playing good football. So, because Ireland were always long ball merchants, even when we had great players in the team.
Yeah.
So it's a pity we didn't have a manager that was more progressive back then. But now we do.
We call this progressive. It's just a tactic. These tactics. I hate this fucking. Oh, this manager has a fucking style of play. Every manager has a style of play.
Yeah, because in last generation's football, like most teams were, you know, hoofing it forward, you know, 2-foot tackles. It was a tougher game, fair enough. But there's more of a finesse game now. The football is changing, and we need to move with the times.
But Paddy, I keep saying, I hear you. I understand 100% what you're saying about this finesse game, and it's brilliant, and people love to watch it. Look at our results. Our results are not good enough. And look at
the only good tactic is a tactic that wins football games.
Exactly, and that's where I have an issue. I
know. But I'm just saying, we have a very young team, so why not again? Right, we're going to take the bad results now, like in the hope, and I think the plan is that in the long run we will have a better team out of it at the end, rather than changing managers every 2 or 3 years, doing the long ball job. No real plan for the squad. At least now we have some sort of a long-term position with the national team. And I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I don't watch it that much, so I'm not really arguing.
But what is it? What is our long-term plan? We're playing a style of football. So the players that are playing it are obviously going to get used to it. That's fine. But like another manager can come in and just play a different tactic. As I said, this whole thing of like changing the nation's football and style, right? Fuck off. That's bollocks, right? Because these lads at a younger age didn't get taught these tactics. They get taught that when they get to a certain age and they can understand how to drill a tactic into themselves. I understand everybody wants that, and I get it, but play with what you've got. And I think that we defend very well and we attack very poorly. As we've just seen, we're going 1-0 up from a header from a defender.
So I think Kenny, the only reason Kenny's keeping his job is because of financial reasons.
Financial 100 million, 1,000 fucking gazillion % financial reasons. Because tell me what manager can go through that many bad results and still have a job. But I understand it, and I get it, because I understand the FAI are under financial restraints. I understand that every League of Ireland and every Irish footballer likes to see Stephen Kenny there because he's one of their own. I get that. Yeah. But for me, results is the only thing that people look back at. When we look back at that Scotland result in 5 years' time, nobody's going to go, yeah, well, we played very well in that first half. Everyone's going to go, oh, we lost 2-1. Yeah. That's it. It stops. The conversation stops there. That's it. Like, we lose, and that's it. So that's my thought process on it.
And Conor, so you said, right, he's in at least till the next championships, and that's fair enough. But what's your thinking on it? Do you believe that, like I was saying a few minutes ago, there's a benefit to keeping him there, or do you just think he's only there because of financial purposes?
Obviously, there is some good young players coming through. Well, good to an Irish standard. They're good internationally or not. Probably they aren't as good as they could be, or not as good as previous squads that we had. But I agree with Collie. The way he got the job in the first place was wrong. You shouldn't be guaranteed a future job depending on how your job goes at the moment. I don't fucking get that. I'm not told I'm going to be a manager in 3 years' time, no matter what happens to me in the meantime. I don't think it should happen to anybody. And you don't have time to build an international football. You get 10 weeks with players every year, and they're 10 broken up weeks. They're 10 match days, really. Mm-hmm. And you do what you can with them. And ultimately, Ireland's goal for every manager is to qualify for a major tournament. Typically, managers get 2 runs at it, 2 cracks. They get a World Cup and a Euros, or Euros and a World Cup. He hasn't qualified for the World Cup. He has the Euros. And if he doesn't get it, he'll be gone. Somebody else will come in to try to do the same thing. That's the only goal I think the FAI have had since Jack was in charge, was qualify for a major tournament. And that's all we kind of look for. Yeah, Poland 2010 was a disappointment, or 2012 was a disappointment because we got there and we played so poorly, because we kind of changed our approach a little bit. Told we were big dogs, start playing more expansive football, and we got torn apart. It didn't go down very well. But all the lead up to that, the whole country was behind everyone, the team. It was a completely different atmosphere. I think that's all that people want. So I think I agree with Collie. If we play ugly football and we don't qualify, people will talk about the ugly football. If we play ugly football and we qualify, they forget about the ugly football that's been played. They just concentrate on, do you remember we got to the Euros? Do you remember Robbie Brady's goal against Italy, which was a long ball into the box that he headed past?
Lads, honestly, like, for hands on heart, do you honestly believe any manager could get this team of players into a tournament?
Playing better, 100%. Away from them. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Paddy, this squad isn't as bad as everybody's saying, and that's why I fucking instantly shut down this thing of the squad's not good enough. Like, our squad is good enough to beat the teams we need to beat to get into a major tournament. Like, fair enough, you're going to come up against the Germanys, which we've got results off before. We're actually doing quite well against Germany. Like, you're going to come up against the Frances, which no one's ever going to stand a chance against them. We're a small nation, 6 million fucking population, whatever it is now. Mm-hmm. We have to be realistic, right? We're not going to win any tournaments. But the whole atmosphere and the whole thing of the country getting to a major tournament, like, when that happens, this country is a different place, and it's the best place in the world. And when you go and you watch an Ireland match in the pub with all your mates, with everybody else wearing the same fucking jersey, everyone having points, everyone having a crack, everyone singing, there's nothing like it. There's absolutely nothing like it. And my fear is that we will not experience that for another 16 years at least if we don't change something.
That was very specific.
Yeah, because I was thinking 4. I was like, if I fuck, I'll go 16. No, maybe 12. 16 is too much. But like, I don't think Kenny will be there that long anyway. What?
What age will you be then? Be Paddy's age, will you?
Be 13. But no, that's Paddy could be dead by then. Sorry, Paddy, I'm only dancing. No, but that's my fear, is that we will miss out on so many major tournaments, which I think we probably have a good enough squad to get into, and that's my worry. Because, like I said, them feelings that I was just talking about, they're unbelievable. Like, how many times, Conor, do we, like, just as a group, chat about that fucking Robbie Brady got header in Malaya's having the points, the fucking goal goes in. We're dancing on fucking chairs. I wake up the next morning with identical bruises on each leg because the fucking chair is toppled over on me, points going everywhere. Like that's the stuff you want to see, and that's the stuff you want to be involved with. And you lads been on fucking Sky Sports that time in town. Like these are all core memories for people. Like football for football people. Like these are all core memories. There's a lot of people that don't give a bollocks anyway, but these are the memories that we need to keep this nation one, keep everybody happy. How can you have such a divided opinion on Stephen Kenny and expect everybody to just be happy? Because I think results is the only thing that will keep people happy. And if we can get a manager in that can get the results, I'm not saying we're going to go and beat fucking Spain every week, but I'm saying we beat Armenia comfortably. We used to beat these type of teams 3-0, and it used to be comfortable for us. Now we struggle. We're 1-0 up.
We did use to stroke balls past lower teams, but we always hard to beat.
Yeah.
We never chipped goals. We often went away to Cyprus or to Georgia and got 0-0 draws. Yeah, we didn't fucking score, but never put balls past us. And even Germany away, 1-0, 2-1s. England away, 1-0. We never shipped many goals. Russia away, got a 0-0 draw. Like that was always Ireland's way. We're difficult to break down.
Yeah.
And as you say, playing three at the back expansive football isn't the most difficult thing to break down when it's not done properly.
It's in fact it's quite the opposite. It's very simple to break down when it's done incorrectly, because you've got so many people out of position and you've got so little cover when you lose it in them vital positions that it's literally sometimes you don't even have to beat a man. You just get the shot off, and sometimes it's only beating a man because the other player gets so wide because they're trying to play this expansive football. So you've got so much space in the middle of the defenders. So I just don't think we're there. I don't think it's the right tactic. I don't think Stephen Kenny is the man for the job, and that's going to take a lot for me to change my opinion on that. Unless he changes up the tactic,
Armenia.
We're gonna win this game, right? And the fans are gonna be like, "Oh, that was a brilliant performance. We were on fire in the first half. We were great. We're playing Armenia. That's a fucking bare minimum. We control that game. That's a bare minimum for Ireland." And if we can win 3-0, that's what we should be doing. And there shouldn't be like, oh, we won 3-0 though. There should be like, yeah, we won 3-0. Yeah, now on to the next one. That should be expected. That's what we should be doing. We should be expecting to beat these teams 3-0.
I remember when McCarthy took over for the second time round and he beat Gibraltar away 2-0 next to the airport out in Gibraltar.
Yeah.
And he was slated because he only beat Gibraltar by 2 goals.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's what it is. And that's what it is. We should be spanking these teams. And people are saying, oh, like if we would have won 2 or 3-0 if Troy Parra had to put away all his chances. Okay, well, we're playing this type of fucking game where he should be getting more than one chance then. If we're playing this attacking, expansive, brilliant, sexy football that we're talking about, why is Troy Parra only getting one chance in that game? He misses it and he's getting his head on the fucking plate. We should be creating chance after chance after chance, but we're not. And that shows me the tactic isn't working. And that's my issue with it. Paddy, what do you think? As a kind of someone who's only looking at the results maybe, and you're not really that involved in like looking and having a massively strong opinion on Stephen Kenny, what's your look from the outside as in like, what do you think?
I think it has to be a financial reason why he's still there, because any industry in the world, if the top man performs that poorly over an extended period of time, he has to go.
Yeah.
And I don't care who he is. Like, so if I'm running the business of the FAI and those results, irrespective of what the long-term plan is, there's only so long you can give somebody in any role. And as good as his intentions are, I think if he was in any other industry, or he was in club football, he would be well gone.
He'd be
out
gone,
the door.
Yeah.
Or even any other international team. I couldn't see any other international team keep it onto a manager like this with the results that we're getting.
But it's not like he's a big enough name. Obviously, he's done very well with Dundalk and the likes. He's got a few trophies to his name. Is that the only thing I think that maybe gives him that bit of grace as well? I know it is. It's all mainly financial. But is that where he's getting cut a bit of slack, where like he's getting so much time because they see him, right, Dundalk, won so much. They played well. But like,
I think the public perception of him, the majority of people like him as Ireland manager. And I think that's what it is as well. You know, like the FAI are getting away with, you know, underpaying somebody, you know, for an international level manager's job. But at the end of the day as well, how did the FAI make their money? Really? They're still filling out the stadium there when Ireland are playing at home. They're probably selling their few jerseys still. International football is a strange one, and Ireland was dragged through the mud by Delaney for a long time from the very top level. Money was siphoned out of the FAI for a long time. So at the moment, maybe it's just damage control. Maybe they just can't afford to get a new manager in. Maybe they can't afford to pay off another manager and get somebody else in, because when O'Neill was there, we had a private investor in paying some of the wages. So maybe just nobody's willing to come in to the mess of the FAI and say, okay, well, I'm going to put my money in there, especially with this squad. At least when they brought Martin O'Neill in that end, they probably had, you know, more elite level players in terms of the Premier League. But now we've barely anybody there of recognizable name.
Like, see what we're talking about, the standard of player. Is it time we like Conor, like, I'll pull it to you because we had a guy called Jake Mulroney on the show who's playing regularly over in the MLS, and I don't know if you watched him much, but I've watched him quite a bit since we've had him on, and I honestly think he should be in that setup because he's playing every week for Orlando, and he's a player that I think a type of player that I don't think we have. I think the most similar type of player to him is someone like James McLean, where they get the ball and they really run direct at someone and they cut inside and they have a few shots and stuff like that. He's a good left winger or left footer. Like, do you think we should be looking like at the MLS, because there is a good few Irish people over there?
I think they'll always only look at towards the MLS if it's someone outstanding, to be honest. There's a fair reason. Again, we talk about the finite resources that the FAI have now after clearing the ball to shy. I'm sure they don't have the money to be spending on a scout to send them to fucking Orlando. They go and have a holiday to watch one fella play football. I know they can get video reports and feedback back, but it's still a case of where they have to make the right decision. I do think we're missing out on players still playing in England and kind of those lower leagues who could do that as well. And even from like the under-21 side of things. But I think Jake would understand himself. That's kind of the bed you make if you go across to the MLS, is you are limiting your chances of coming back to play international football, because you're not going to have those eyes on you because it costs too much money to go and watch one fella who might do something, you know?
Yeah, I get it. Lads, will we start talking about some club football?
It is, because
I said good football and I was like, fucking hell.
Well, look, it's also good football. That's offside. Lads, we're going to move on to like, why are you waiting 10 minutes to put the fucking flag up?
I hate that.
We're gonna move on to the weekend's football. We're not really gonna look back at what we had. I think we're gonna just
Queen died.
The Queen's dead. Yeah, we're gonna just look forward to the predictions. Right, lads. There's a couple of games. We're going to obviously talk about Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United. But there is another game that's pretty good that I think we'll talk about. Arsenal versus Spurs. A very spicy one, considering I think both of these teams are good. I seen a thing with Arsene Wenger during the week, lads, and he reckons that Arsenal actually could challenge for the title this year because City are dropping points. What would your thoughts be on that, Paddy? Arsenal challenging for the league this year?
Yeah, I thought about it actually after I read that article as well, and yeah, why not? Yeah, City have dropped points. Everyone's dropped points this season. Everyone thought, City's going to run away with it. Liverpool's going to run away with it before the season started. Liverpool are nowhere to be seen. City still look really good, but again, they have dropped points. Everyone's going to drop points this season, so why not? Why not? I think the next couple of months, I think there's 9 games in October for the clubs to play, and it's a serious amount of football. And I think that will cause a couple of gaps to form in the Premier League, and the cream will start rising to the top. Then I think by the time we get to Christmas and by the time we get to the World Cup, you're going to see probably who's going to be there or abouts in the top 4.
Yeah, fair enough. Conor, what do you think Arsenal challenge for the league? Do you reckon that's a realistic thing, or do you think they'll do with Arsenal?
Yeah, their history doesn't help them. They've never had an issue stringing results together. It's been stringing them for a full season together was always a problem. Yeah. So an unbeaten Arsenal or Arsenal not dropping points until October, I think only happened 3 years ago, and then they fell off a cliff at Christmas and then came back on it again in March with a strong finish. Between December and March, we're nowhere to be seen. So can they do it? Of course they can. They have a much stronger and deeper squad than they've had in previous years. Do they still have the quality to probably challenge City when City do? Obviously, City have dropped a lot of points over the last couple of weeks. Well, a lot of points. They've dropped 4 or 5, I think, in like 3 weeks, which is unheard of for like City. Can I see them dropping much more if they get the finger out? Like the Villa game, they just didn't pull out of the sword when they had the chances. Yeah. I can see them finally completely gelling. And
they're not far off that, like as in like
no. There's I know we talked about it before, but there's a couple of things. The runs that Haaland makes that they don't spot because they're not used to playing that ball in behind. They start picking them out a little bit more. I think they start creating a little bit more chances. There's only minor things I think will lead them to score more goals. I think it was John Stones. Is he gone now for a while as well, which won't help?
Yeah, he injured himself, hamstring injury, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. But no, like ultimately, Arsenal can do it. I can see them getting beaten here the weekend from just a Conte defensive masterclass and scoring off of a set piece.
Some back on form.
But
Son will bang in goals now. When he scored that first goal there on, I think it was Tuesday, was it, Paddy? Yeah, he scored. When did he score? I think he could have been just in the WhatsApp group.
Last game against Leicester, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was.
He dropped him because of his performance, and he came on after 70 minutes and scored a hat-trick.
Yeah. So when he scored that first goal, I can't remember who I was talking to. I was like, he's going to start banging them in now, and all of a sudden, then he had a fucking hat-trick. Like, what do you make of Spurs' chances to actually challenge for the league? Who do you think is the more likely to challenge between the two, Paddy?
I'll say Arsenal, just because Arteta has been there a little bit longer, a little bit more time to develop the team. I still think Tottenham can be a bit Tottenham-y and a bit Spursy, and they might, you know yourself what Spurs are like.
It's funny the way you said they're a little bit Spursy, and I knew exactly what you meant.
Yeah,
exactly.
I understand that completely.
Arsenal, they have the pedigree there. They've won the league before. Arteta seems to be doing a job there. They have a good squad. The only thing I'd be worried about is if Jesus got an injury. Then I think they'd be falling short because they've no real cover for him there. I know Martinelli could probably jump in.
Quite young though.
Sorry?
Nketiah, I think, is there. He's quite young now. I think
but he's nowhere near like the same standard of Jesus. Like Jesus, you see, has made a massive difference to them. Like he looks small, but he's one of the strongest players in the league. I'd say he's a beast. Such a good player. But I don't think either of them are going to win the league. Really, like is it a possibility for Arsenal? Maybe, but I don't see it.
Who would you say, Conor? Would you agree with that? Arsenal will be more likely?
I can see Arsenal picking up more points because I do think they're better at putting the lower teams away. They have been pretty consistent with kind of 3-4 2-0s and like beating Bournemouth, beating Brighton, like those kind of middle to lower teams. I see Spurs picking up more points off the top sides again because they have that ability to change how they play. They're a little more dynamic. If they want to go more defensive, they can block in and limit, say, damage that City could do to them, for instance. So I think overall Arsenal would pick up more points across the board when playing against those lower league teams, or those lower in the league teams. So I would agree with Paddy. I can't see either of them putting enough points together to beat City to it.
Yeah,
but I'd fancy Arsenal to finish above Spurs.
I'm not saying I think City will win the league either.
Ooh,
and of course Celtic.
I have to agree. I have to actually admit, lads, I think Spurs are the most likely to challenge City this season. That's out of everyone, including Liverpool and anybody else, Arsenal as well. I just, for some reason, I think the likes of Harry Kane, Son, they have too good of a squad to not challenge and not be winning these type of games. I mean, like the lower type of games. But the one big difference is Antonio Conte is there. I think that could be a massive difference for them because he demands the hardest work from every single player that he has on that pitch. And
yes, but like he's not walking into a team that's capable of winning the Premier League. Like when he came into Chelsea had players there that won the league before. Like if you look at Klopp when he went into Liverpool hadn't won the title in years. Tottenham have never won the league, I don't think. But for Conte to do it, he needs another couple of seasons. I'm not saying he can't do it as Spurs, but he needs more time.
But one thing I will say about Conte, that's handball, is when he came to Chelsea, he struggled with results. And do you remember that whole thing? He was probably one of the first managers that started playing that 3-5-2. It was, I think, we lost against Arsenal, and he switched up the tactics and went on and won the league from that. So this man has experience in things not going right.
Losing against Arsenal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, perfect for today. He has experience in things not going right and being able to adapt to them and change a system that will allow that again, which is why I always go back to Kenny and fucking Ireland team. A system that suits the players and that he can change to win matches. And as like Conor said, the only tactic is the tactic that wins you the match. And that's what I think Conte does pretty well. He can switch up a tactic and he'll win the match with that tactic. And that's what he'll do if things don't go right. So that's why I think Spurs are more than likely to challenge Man City, who I think are obviously going to win the league, than anybody else in the league. Depending on how City do, Haaland stays injury free, Kevin De Bruyne stays injury free. They're the two key players I think for me for City this season. So yeah, I think Spurs would be more than likely to get to finish kind of challenge Man City than Arsenal. Lads, what do we think on this match in particular? How do we think this one's going? It's obviously in the Emirates. Conor, what do you think a massive home advantage now because it's in the Emirates, or are you still kind of expecting it?
I think it's only one of the best all nerves had in a while. Probably not like what actually happens during the game, but I mean one of the closest where it is a coin flip, I think, from either side. It's going to be cagey, I think. I don't think either side want to go out and lose it, and because of that, I'm going to back Spurs on it. Low score, I'm going to say Spurs 1-0.
Right.
And I'm going to go with Harry Kane.
Okay. Paddy, what way do you see it going?
Yeah, I think Arsenal will do better this season, but I think Spurs will win this weekend.
Okay. I think, score.
Did a really good performance there against Leicester. Arsenal lost against us. And I've seen a couple of weaknesses there that Spurs could probably exploit. So I'll go for I'm going to go for a 3-2 win for Spurs.
Jesus,
and Son to score.
Okay. This one I think is probably going to be one of the better derbies that we've seen over the last few years with Arsenal and Spurs. I think Conte is going to bring that and he's going to drive that as well. So sorry for anyone listening. It's halftime at the match there. So Ireland are still 1-0 up, still haven't created much, still haven't done much. I don't know. They haven't broken.
Doesn't matter. It's all about the result, Cully.
All about the result. If we can get this result, like I said, we're going to defend like beavers right now. So yeah, I just think this one's going to be a tough affair. I think there's going to be goals, Paddy. I think you're right. You're going 3-2, but I'm going to take one of them goals away. I'm going to say 2-2. I think there'll be a little ballerina in there, a little 2-2. And I'm going to say, I'd say Odegaard to score for Spurs or for Spurs for Arsenal. He's been playing well. I don't think he's got injured.
Is he fit? Because he didn't play in Arsenal's last game, did he?
But I was thinking that he didn't go away with the national team, did he?
Oh, yeah, fair.
that's why I'm thinking he might just be fit now. So I don't know.
He's not down as injured. Hugo Lloris is injured, just in case that's throws a spanner in the work for anyone.
Well, they actually have a decent enough backup, don't they? They used to have your man Vaughan, who used to play for Swansea. Was it still him?
Don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Interesting. Sorry, just a quick one in the comments there. Very boring this match, to be honest. Yeah. It's hard to do a podcast and watch the match, but we kind of dip in and out of it. But so much for our fucking sexy and lovely football to watch, Right, we'll move on to the next match, lads. Crystal Palace versus Chelsea. Conor, I don't know, did we get your thoughts on Potter coming
in? Sure.
Okay. So come here, talk to me about that, about the Thomas Tuchel sacking and Potter getting appointed as manager. What did you make of the whole?
I think I was here the week afterwards when that happened, so it was strange, to be honest. Yeah. I think I mentioned that you let your man spend whatever it was, like 200 million, and then a couple of weeks later you get rid of him. Just is odd. And yeah, obviously it's a great move for Graham Potter. I think regardless of what happens with Chelsea, he'll have a job in the top 7 or top 8 in the Premiership if something ever came up. I think he jumped from Brighton to Chelsea knowing he could go back to Spurs or West Ham or something. Yeah. He's already gained an advantage there.
I actually, sorry, I put a thing up on Instagram and I put a comment on one of the posts, right? And what you're saying there was exactly what I tried to say, but didn't word it correctly at all. And I was like, I kind of felt sorry for him. And I was like making it all like it was a bad thing. I was like, I kind of felt sorry for him. And then I was like, because if it doesn't work out for him at Chelsea, he kind of goes into like another job. He won't have trouble getting a job. And then I'm like, but if it does work out for him, he's great. Like, as someone wrote on it, like, I don't see what the issue is here. Like, either way, it's gonna work out for him. Like, and I was like, no. I was like, I more feel sorry for him because like, it's not a job that he's allowed refuse, because you couldn't refuse a job like that, working at Brighton and getting offered a Chelsea job. His hand is kind of forced. Like, so that's what I was trying to get at. But yeah, I actually was in that staff near manager. He's like, I don't see any negatives here. It was deadly. I was like, oh, fair enough. Yeah, I'll allow it. So yeah, what do you see Potter doing in the next year for Chelsea? Do you see it being any better than it was?
It won't be any worse, I don't think, but it's not going to be any better. He doesn't bring, like, it's not like he comes in from a different country where all of a sudden now players still want to go and play for him. He'll have sway over Calcido, and obviously Basuma's already gone, so who else can you pull in from Brighton, really? Whatever.
There was Trossard was linked to Chelsea now.
Trossard already got fucking Cucurella, so it's like, it's not like he has a big pull like we could bring in Roberto Mancini. All of a sudden all the Italians want to come and play for you or whatever. Yeah. It's a strange one. I don't think they'll get any better. I don't think they'll get any worse. But if they don't make the change and they stick with Tuchel and it carries on as is, Todd Bowley gets out of it scot-free by saying it's not my manager.
Yeah,
I can go and make a decision now when the results defend my position. Yeah. When the results don't really defend his position, he's on a hide into nothing now. If this doesn't work, it's
shit show for him.
It's Manchester United 2.0, and everyone wants his head like the Glazers. He's lining himself up for failure.
I'm literally like, I'm not giving Potter any grace, like, and it's not because of Potter, it's because of Todd Bowley, because of that snap decision that he.
And you're usually so understanding of managers. That's true.
I know. I usually give them loads of time.
But that's going to bring Stephen Kenny in.
Exactly. Yeah, I'd rather it. No, I honestly, like, it bugs me that the way it happened, that Tuchel got sacked like that, and that Potter came in, and that's why I put up a post on TikTok, basically just fucking crying about Potter, and people were going mad saying one fucking game. I was like, I don't care. I didn't see what I liked. I don't want to see any of this shit. I was like, yeah, he's good, yeah, for Brighton, because that's what we're playing like. We're playing like fucking Brighton, and people weren't happy about it. But we'll move away from Chelsea. We'll kind of get a score. Actually, Paddy, sorry. how do you think it's going to go for the next season with Chelsea and Potter? Like, can you see the right? Okay, you can say right, we're going to play better football. You can't see him finishing it.
No.
But
Moyes written all over it, and I think this owner now, what you like the stick you gave me about, it doesn't matter about who the owner is. It only matters about the managers and all. Yeah. I think you're about to get a very rude awakening, very, very rude awakening at Chelsea, because you had a easy street with Abramovich there. This joker now is coming in looking for an all-stars team. He gets rid of one of the best managers in the world and gets in Potter. What the fuck is going on? That's one of the weirdest moves I've ever seen made at a football club, and nearly as bad as fucking Ferguson getting Moyes in then afterwards. It's really bad, like really bad. And I think, like you look, you're always going to hit a majority or a minority of people on social media that are going to be like, oh no, you have to give them time, blah 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 blah. Give them another 3 or 4 games and you just don't have the results, and they'll all be agreeing with you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Every single.
I just like to call things early. And that's what I think people have a problem with, is that when I see something, I call it straight away and I say, look, this is my opinion on it. If he proves me over time in the next fucking year that like he finishes fourth, I'll hold my hands up and I'll say, look, I didn't like what I saw in the first game, but he fucking proved himself, and fair play to him, and I'll hold my hands up and I'll always do that. Being proven right at the moment with Darwin Núñez, another fucking triggered post on TikTok, and of course Celtic. But I put another post up on he was in training and he fucking fouled someone, gets the ball, tries to cross into the box, puts it over to the corner flag, and I think
great tackle.
It was a great tackle. I mean,
had a good cross. There's no one at the back post.
Great, yeah. That was the problem. There's no one at the back post. But yeah, no, another one. So look, I'm 100%. I'll hold my hand up, and I will say, now Potter has done the job. If he fucking gets the results, gets the team playing.
What's your prediction for this game?
Nice football games. I'm going to say 1-1. I'm going to say 1-1. I still don't see him. I see him just struggling for the first couple of games. I'm going to say 1-1. And I'm going to say Zaha to score, because I've given him abuse all season and he keeps scoring now. So I'm going to say he's going to score. What's your score prediction, Conor?
I was going to say something similar as well, because Palace seem to be draw merchants. But I'll go 2-1 Chelsea. And I will back, after his goal against England, I'll back Kai Havertz.
Oh, nice. Paddy, what do you think?
Before I give me prediction, do you think the world-class players in there will listen to Graham Potter and really follow his instructions, respect him enough to do that?
So, look, they're professionals. They're going to try to get on with it as best they can. But is there going to be a step-up level of motivation from what they had with Thomas Tuchel? I don't think so. So, like, I can say, like, they will try. They will play, obviously, as everyone does, because you will get abuse if you don't as a professional footballer. And rightly so, you get paid enough to, at the very least, put in 100% effort. Will there be a step up from what we had before? I don't think so. And that's why I had the problem. I almost felt like we took a step down. And that was, I just didn't understand it. I don't know. I understand Todd Bowley's whole thing where, right, so apparently the reason they sacked Tuchel was because they had a massive disagreement about signing Ronaldo. So if Potter was there and he had suggested Ronaldo, you can bet your fucking bottom dollar that Potter would have just said, yeah, go ahead, get him. And he wouldn't have argued. Whereas Tuchel held his hand up and said, absolutely no chance.
Yeah, but does that not set the precedence then? And that's the type of manager he wants now. He wants yes men.
He's not a manager. He's a coach.
Yeah, he's a coach. But apparently that's why he brought him in, is because of his accolades. Not so much his trophies, because he hasn't won anything, but his accolades. As in, like, he has a master's in what were we saying? It's fucking psychology or man management, fucking bullshit, whatever it is. Like
psychology or something like that.
Yeah. So whatever the fuck that is. So I don't think, look, getting back to your question, I don't think there's going to be a massive step up in motivation around like that for Chelsea, and I don't see it being. I don't see him being anything extra than Thomas Tuchel was, and that's just the way it is. Sorry, we're on your score prediction. If you want.
Yes. I think Palace are going to beat us 2-1. Zaha's score.
Ooh, I like what we've done here, lads. We've all mixed it up.
Covered all bases. Yeah,
Right,
we said we were going to do that.
We did say we were going to do it. Right, we're going to jump on to the next one, lads. Liverpool and Brighton. Conor Little, I'm coming to you straight away. Tell me about Darwin Núñez. Just talk to me about him for a minute and just tell me what you think.
I mean, I didn't say he was going to be a world beater. I never said that. You can roll the clip back. I never said he was going to be a world beater.
People did, though.
What?
A lot of Liverpool fans did.
No, that's up to them, isn't it? What I said was, I don't know if he's worth the cash, but he'll offer Liverpool something different, which he does. And it's not my money, so I don't care. It's not like fucking John Henry was like, we're buying this fella, will you revolute us fucking 20 grand there, will you do it for him? So,
but in like long term or whatever, like I've heard rumors now that Klopp doesn't fancy him, that they didn't get what they thought they were going to be getting, and they're apparently looking to offload him in the summer. Or sorry,
30-day money back guarantee, is it? If you don't get it, they have to buy a mattress and it's short. I can give it back. Why couldn't they give it back to fucking centre forward?
But like, do you see him lasting there, and do you see him coming good? Look, we're judging him very early days, but given the evidence that's in front of us, as well, I was in a court and someone brought him into me and said, determine if this fella is a good footballer or a shit footballer. If you put the evidence on the table, I'm saying he's not a footballer at all. He's a boxer. He's a boxer. He's a fighter or something. Like, how do you see him going for the next year?
Does a goal or something settle him down in the league? Yes. But does that mean he all of a sudden gains a first touch? No. So he's definitely not one to hang your hat on for like your out and out goal scorer. I don't think that was, well, if that was the plan, it was the wrong player to buy, because he's always been physical, fast, and aerial has always been his thing. So, like, you know exactly what you're getting. So, if Klopp is saying that it's not what he expected, I'll fucking play FIFA with him. And even in FIFA, all he's good at is headers, and he has a fucking bomb of a left foot from 20 yards, 25 yards. That's about it. A goal will settle him down. I think the Merseyside, or which game did he get sent off in? I was going to say the Merseyside.
Yeah, against Wolves, wasn't it?
Palace.
Oh, Palace. Sorry, Palace.
Your man Anderson had him rattled.
Yeah.
That, I think, has knocked him back probably like 3 months, 4 months, I'd say, just in confidence. Can he still get 10, 12 goals a season? I think he can. I think he is that type of player that Liverpool haven't had. Yeah. I don't think the style of football suits him. I said it before. I do think he needs someone playing with or just behind him. Playing Bobby Firmino in like a 10 that he plays in anyway would probably suit him up top on his own. But having 2 wide players who want to play as centre forwards and take up all of his space and make him run wide isn't the type of football that suits him. I would like to see Liverpool experiment with like a 4-2-3-1 and let Bobby Firmino go in the hole, because we've seen in the last couple of weeks he's played pretty well, but he keeps dropping into midfield to receive the ball and there's nobody in the box. So mixing things up like that wouldn't be a bad thing. I think coming into the busy season, League Cup coming about, I can see that being maybe somewhere where that's kind of deployed to see what happens. But yeah, he's not 30 goals a season. He's not going to be like, give the ball to him, he's going to score. And people who thought that were like, he didn't even do that at Benfica. Like, Haaland did it at Dortmund, and we could say, right, we'll try and get it.
He had a decent enough scoring record over there.
Yeah, okay, you got 21 goals in the league. What did Haaland get? 39?
Yeah, Haaland's different fucking.
And he was out injured for half the season. Yeah. So, like, it's. I wouldn't have put him in that bracket, but Haaland was never an option for Liverpool, so that's rules it out. I don't like this thing with saying like City got him for 50 million and Liverpool got your man for 80 million. It's not comparable, because
that's because he's got the bad deal. That's why I don't like saying it.
What's that?
It's because he was getting
That's
the
because
bad.
he's got the bad deal.
Oh, well, it's not a bad. They're never in the running for it. If Liverpool had said we're not buying Haaland, we're going to buy him instead, well, then it's like fucking that's bad business. But if you're never in the running for a deal, you can't compare. That's like saying you could have got Haaland, but you got Casemiro instead. It's not the same deal. Never in the running. So it's never going to happen.
Nothing like that. They're not two strikers.
Sorry, quick one, Andy McNulty. Did I miss the Kenny out rant by Collie? You did indeed. It went on for about 30 minutes. Yeah, I mean, it's probably going to get another one at the end of this match when we end up fucking losing 2-1 or something. But no, it's all there. It's all very listenable. It's all very. I don't think I was too abrupt with it. I think I was thinking it out quite a lot. Like I thought it was actually pretty.
You're diplomatic. You were.
I was very diplomatic about it.
Yeah, but just so Andy knows, if he's watching back, you were throwing darts at Kenny's face in the background.
Conor, I don't know if you gave me a straight answer on this one before, and I think you dodged it, but I'm gonna see if I can get another one out of you. Trent Alexander-Arnold or Reece James?
For who?
See that? Fuck off! You're a cunt.
No, and in the Liverpool team right now, I'd rather Reece James all day long. 100%. I'd rather
in the Liverpool team, would you?
Chelsea's team that played 3 at the back. That England team that played against Germany last night with Reece James at wing back. That's Trent football all over it. So
I think you all very underestimate how good Reece James is going forward.
He did football last night against Germany.
That's grand. It's Germany though.
It's grand.
Do you know what I mean? Like I said, I brought this stat up during the week, and I had to bring it up again today because someone on I had this argument again with someone on Instagram today about Trent and fucking Reece. They said that he's so much better. He said it in a way that was very fucking bullshitty. So I said, yeah, no, that's grand. I said Trent has 2 goals in 12 games last season, and Reece James had 5 goals and 9 assists. Sorry, 2 goals and 12 assists. And 5 goals and 9 assists for Reece James. And Reece James played 1,000 minutes less. And everybody keeps telling me that Trent is better going forward than Reece James. Nothing to say.
You've asked me where I'd rather, or who I'd rather. Liverpool right now, I'd rather Reece James, 100%.
Yeah, well, what is that? Why is that for you now? Is it a different style of football he's play? Because for the last 2 seasons, he has been very good for Liverpool. Let's call it a spade. He has been very good for them. But like, why all of a sudden this season has it just changed?
I think we talked about it before. The same level of press isn't there. The same level of press in midfield isn't there. Especially with we look and we see like Thiago being out injured. You come back in and he's highest on the tackle percentage, he's highest on the running percentage, he's highest on the sprint percentage. He just does that a little bit more. But playing James Milner in there, who's another year older, playing Jordan Henderson in there, who doesn't look like he's ever fully fit. Fabinho never fully fit. Naby Keita, I don't think he's ever fit, to be honest. I'm not saying that fitness or that we're blaming on the fitness. Naby Keita is not a good enough footballer anyway.
Tackle. And
teams have realised how they can play against Liverpool. It was like that. If you go back to remember when Newcastle had Papi Cisse and Demba Ba up front, and for a season, nobody had a fucking clue what to do against them. And then they realised how to play against them, they were fucking brutal. So I think it was that kind of thing where if you can still counter-attack, lead people up the pitch, pray that they don't break you down, and then clip one forward, and play down the wings, play down the channels.
The channels, yeah.
That is a way of getting out of them. And I said 2 weeks ago when we were on, Robertson has that challenge in that left full position. Tsimikas is not a bad footballer by any stretch. He would get a game in a lot of Premier League teams at left full. Not the top teams, but a lot of teams he would get a game in. And to be able to take Robinson out and say, you had a shocker, your man's going in. Trent hasn't got that at the moment until Calvin Ramsey is fit, which he hasn't been. James Milner can't go in there. He just can't compete. So until we have the ability to say you're out of the team because you're playing shy, and then hopefully it wakens the attitude up. But they're all running less. They're all pressing less. Is there a reason why? I think the quality has left the team. I think we said as well that Sadio Mane was the trigger.
I'm feeling me what Ireland are about to score.
Oh, what a fucking finish that is.
Well, the
Thanks for ruining it, Paddy. Paddy, pay attention to the podcast and stop ruining it on everybody.
You can
Fucking hell.
Paddy, wait till
Kenny in.
I
They're
can't
going
believe
mad
he
now
just
because
done
Kenny's
that.
great.
Can't believe
Kenny's
he's done this.
I always said Kenny in his class. What a finish that is, by the way. And that's his second screamer from that position.
Keeper.
Yeah. Keeper is questionable there as well, isn't he? That's along the ground. Like, Paddy, have you wanted to ask Conor about Liverpool? Because I know you're in your element when Liverpool are doing bad.
I just think if Nunes had it coming in to Mane still being there, it would have been a much different story. I think the effect Mane has had leaving Liverpool is really, really big. And I don't think they would have expected how much it's affected the club because their performances this season, or maybe it's just a decline in the midfield, a collective decline in the midfield, along with injuries as well. But I think they have a lot of average midfielders,
I think so.
which makes it even more surprising how well they've done over the previous 4 or 5 years. Like they really have, outperformed the standard of player you see in the centre of the park. Maybe it's just catching up on them, the age, Henderson, Milner, a couple of injuries there. They're going to get more injuries with the age they are as well, and they haven't got much backup. Mane leaving, and banging the goals in for Bayern. It's not looking good. Sorry, I can't say that.
Bayern are also sitting 5th at the moment, so it's not exactly rosy over there.
Which
Bayern are 5th in the league at the moment. They haven't been that low ever.
But Mane is scoring a few though.
He has. I think it's, as I said, it's the stuff off the ball that they're missing more than Mane on the ball. It is that press, that somebody hurrying.
Defending from the front,
but it's the first person who goes that everyone else says, shit, I need to press now as well. And they haven't got that right now because Firmino doesn't do it. I think Salah still thinks he's that little bit luxury where he can float through the defensive side of the game. And I think he's always been like that, but he got covered up by Mane doing the press for 2 people. Luis Diaz is trying to do it. I don't know if it's just a thing where they're not used to Diaz doing the press, but he seems busy. They have
great signing, by the way.
No, I really rate him. He's everything that a Liverpool player should embody. He's busy. He's got a little bit of nasty about him. He's got quality. They've got one quality midfielder now, who I feel, which is Thiago, but it's a struggle obviously to keep him playing. Fabinho's not been the same since he came back from his knee injury last year. He just seems he hasn't settled into what he was the start of last season, the year before that. I don't know if that's age catching up. They needed to buy a new midfielder.
And a lot of talk about the midfield being weak, but you got your man for Juventus, and supposedly reports are saying that he's not fitting the bill, and they're looking to get rid of him in January. This new midfielder they got, I've heard that he's not.
What's his name?
Arthur Miller.
I'm not sure.
What's his name?
Well, as a Liverpool supporter, what do you think you need?
Arthur.
What do you think you need in January? Would it be a replacement for Mane or a midfielder?
I'd rather shore things up and bring in a midfielder, but again, you know what January is like. You're paying January tax, plus not many people are running out of contract time, so it's who is free. I think Liverpool's big thing, if they can get it done, will be to announce Jude Bellingham for the following summer. I think that will tie fans over long enough to say we'll suffer through this year knowing that we'll get Bellingham in
Haggle that is
in the summer. But we need a midfielder in. I think there's holes there, and that's where everything's coming from. I know we spoke about it for the Napoli game, but the reason why that high press isn't working because midfielders for the opposition team can get their head up and pick a pass in behind the back four, and that's the reason why no one's pressing. So they need someone busy in midfield.
Jude Bellingham. Is it Liverpool that are the favourites to sign him?
I heard he's gone to Madrid.
He's gone to Madrid. He was going to City. He was going to Liverpool. I don't think Madrid have come back out recently now since as the favourites. I don't think you can say who's going to get in there. I can see Liverpool putting bids in, and ultimately, I think it's going to be up to the player and who offers the best wage bracket, to be honest.
And he's not overrated. Like, I've seen him playing a couple of times, and he seems to impress all the time. But like, there has been 1 or 2 games where I've watched, but he never really played bad. But like, he was missing from games. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like he was getting the ball, giving it away, and he was doing bad things. He just wasn't involved with some of the games that I've seen him in. So the talk of him being possibly overrated, is that you'd strike that one out?
Maybe it's English tax at the end of the day, so he's being talked about more because he's English, and that's unfortunate for English players. It helps them with their wage, but it also doesn't help them with how their actual performance is like.
Yeah.
He's busy. He wins the ball. He gives the ball simple. The stuff that goes missing, I think that's the stuff that's not happening in the Liverpool midfield at the moment. And I don't think that would, Sergio Busquets went missing for years, but he was the most important part of that Barcelona midfield three, or one of them. So if he can do that role that Fabinho seemed to have done and can't really get to grips with again, that's a win in my book. But again, you're going to pay an extra 35, 40 million because he's English.
Yeah, definitely. Paddy, have you anything else to ask there, or else we'll get a score prediction and move on?
No, score prediction, move on. Actually, how do you think you're going to do this season? Think you get Champions League?
Yeah, I think top four. Top four is still on it. Again, even from the start of the season, for me, thinking that Liverpool would be playing second fiddle to City. I didn't think they were going to win the league, but I thought they would give them a run. I can't see them stringing together enough results. I can see them dipping in and out of form, especially with the World Cup. Too much reliance on big players. Obviously, Salah not going to the World Cup is huge. But at the same time, Norway aren't going to the World Cup, so City still have home. So it's like...
Do you also lose match sharpness, though, with them players?
I think you'd rather lose match sharpness than them playing the extra 13 games, including the pre-tournament games.
Easier to keep fresh, not playing than fucking overplaying. Like,
they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose sharpness, and I think you'll see on St. Stephen's Day when they're all back, you won't get the best quality game back after Christmas. But
we just make this clear: I will not be able to see on St. Stephen's Day. Right. Well, look. Brighton's first game without Potter, considering their last game was called off. How do you see this one going, Conor?
It's going to be a weird one because neither team have played for so long. So I can see it being one of two ways, either really open and a lot of goals or no goals pretty much. I'm going to go with the former. I'm going to say 3-2 Liverpool. And I'm going to... But I back him for the crack. I'm going to back Darwin Núñez to score.
Okay, fair enough. Paddy, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a Liverpool rout. I think it's going to be 4-0 to Liverpool.
Yeah.
And Salah to score.
I was actually thinking this myself. I think it's going to be a spanking. It's going to be Brighton's first game without Potter. Lost, obviously, the likes of Kukurea. So I know he's been gone for a while, pretty much the whole season, but I just think they're going to struggle this game. I think, Paddy, I don't think you're miles off with 4-0. I'm going to say 3-0. And I'm going to say Diaz to score. What?
Miles off? Did you say miles off before now?
No, I said I don't think you're going to be miles off.
Oh, right, sorry.
I think I'm miles
off 3-0.
Right, lads, we'll move on to what a game. Manchester City versus Manchester United. Paddy, we'll come to you. This is where you finally wake up and we have your full attention in the podcast. Oh, strike. Paddy, talk to me. How did you see this one going?
I think Man City have had a big injury now and Stones going off. I think it might play into United's hands. I was delighted to see Rashford and Sancho not going to play for England. I think they'll be fresh. Rashford was struggling with an injury. But he didn't play against Sheriff, obviously, because of that injury. Very professional performance. Yeehaw, we won against Sheriff. It was
Sheriff OEC. They burned the cars out there afterwards.
So yeah, good result. Our performances have definitely picked up in the Premier League. If we could get all our players back fit from these internationals, to be able to field pretty much the same 11 we have been in the last couple of weeks, I could see us grabbing something against City. And I had the same feeling against Arsenal. I thought we were going to hammer Arsenal, and I was right. I said 3-1. I called it, and I've got the same feeling for this weekend as well. And Rashford back in form. He's been out injured. If he's back fit this week, he tends to do well against City on the counter.
You also said that United are going to win the quadruple.
Yeah.
Just throwing it out there,
Triple is back on.
Yes, I'm still right there. Maybe just a treble. Maybe a shot too far on the.
Which one is too far for you?
I don't mind losing the Carling Cup.
Carling Cup, I knew you were going to say that. Paddy, we were talking about during the week.
Can we just say, sorry, Collie, but the Irish under 21s got beaten on penalties.
Oh, fuck.
Kenny out.
John O'Shea will be heartbroken. I'll have to send him a message on Instagram.
He'll ban you as well now.
I know. John Terry has me banned. Sorry, I was gonna say yesterday we saw an absolute shit show by Harry Maguire. Paddy, did you see this incident?
Yes, and I think for himself and the club, the sooner he gets away from United, the better, because I don't think he'll ever start performing again until he gets a decent string of results, club results in, and I don't think he'll do that at United now. Even if I see Varane or Martinez getting injured now, I don't think he'll be the first choice to come in. I hope not, because he just unsettles the whole back line.
He needs a move to Italy, where every United defender that shit seems to do pretty well, and every United player seems to do well.
You're right.
And every English player seems to do well, because even look at the likes of Tammy Abraham, who's flying over there.
Yeah.
I think he needs a move to that type of league, because it's a slower league, and it'll probably suit him a little bit better. Yeah, I think so. Someone will just put a big fat head in the way. But yeah, in terms of confidence, Paddy, the captaincy, can we talk about that? Does this man is still your club captain?
We haven't lost a game since Fernandez has captained this season. So look, I think Ten Hag now is just looking for the right moment to make the change. He doesn't want to do it now while Maguire's still there, because he's getting enough shit as it is. I think he's quite happy just leaving him on the bench and letting Fernandez be the vice captain. But I think until it's officially made, I think Fernandez is the captain of Manchester United now, and rightly so, because I think he embodies the fight we want to see on the pitch. He's a whinge bag at times, yes, but I think he tactically whinges at the referee.
Do you think that Maguire still has a voice in the dressing room, or do you think he's fell into the background now at this stage?
I can't imagine. So you're not going to listen to somebody that's on the bench every week, are you? Really? You just can't. You're not going to, the lad's gone onto the pitch oh, come here and I tell you, do this and do that. Why will you? It's not on the bench.
Would it save face if he was to say to Ten Hag, look, take the captaincy off me? And I probably never, ever going to do that. I don't think anyone would ever do that. But do you think that would be a thing that might gain him a bit more respect from the United fans if he'd done something like that? Would you respect him more if he'd done that?
But so I don't disrespect him. The only reason I don't like Maguire is because his performances have been shocking. It's nothing to do with the person he is. He seems like a good guy. He doesn't seem like a prick. He's represented the club well in terms of. What did you say?
Yeah, but that time he got arrested over in Greece.
Oh yeah. That was before he was captain.
He seems like a good guy, but he also has a fucking police record.
Yeah, no, but he does. He does. Hold on. Oh yeah, none of us ever got in trouble with the police.
Never have.
Mason Greenwood, nice bloke.
He'll be back soon as well.
I was just going to ask you about that. Greenwood has been obviously put on that squad and registered in the league. What's your thoughts?
He's on a register, all right.
He's on a register. This is his second register of the season. But Paddy, I know we're saying you could say, oh, he's only there for the under 21s, blah blah blah, and he's not part of the squad.
I don't agree with it.
Yeah. So the other thing was, I was talking to a few people about it, and they were like, "Well, he's innocent. He's still innocent."
Yeah,
and
exactly. Legally, yeah.
I get that, but is them recordings and them that's a proof, but leaked stuff that we all know is him? Is that not enough to warrant a sacking from Manchester United?
No, I think removing him from the club, they can't sack him at the moment. I'm sure they're being advised by their legal teams that they can sack him. Yeah, I think if they could, They would have absolutely by now. They absolutely would have. And even this move of putting him in the under-21 squad, it's probably because of legal purposes. Because again, if he's not being proven or he's not being tried in the court or anything like that, supposedly the partner is dropping the charges or something like that. So I don't even know what happens then. And maybe they'll just let him rot in the 21s until his contract runs out and then just release him. Because I'd never want to see him playing in the front first 11 again.
The fear you have with him at the moment is that some team will 100% pick him up. Someone that
I don't care. I don't want him at the club.
Don't give a shit.
I don't care. Yeah. I don't care, and I don't care if he becomes the best player in the world. Don't want him at the club.
Well, we did have someone saying that he was going to win the Ballon d'Or at one stage.
That's right. Yeah.
No, I think Chris said he's going to win. Drop the soap on the floor.
I think he actually said balls on whore.
Oh Jesus Christ!
Sorry, she's not a whore.
I leave it with you, lads. I'm not going to try even.
Well, what's your one, Paddy?
Yeah, go on, Paddy. You have to give us one.
No, I don't have one.
Right. So, Paddy, tell me, we're talking about kids. We're talking about the starting team. Does Ronaldo start, or do you think no? Stick with what you've got.
Oh, if Martial was fit, I'd put Martial in definitely.
So you wouldn't be
starting. Martial is the final
Cristiano.
piece of the puzzle in terms of what Ten Hag wants to do from an attacking point of view. I think
interesting.
I do. I think for the work rate, the pressing, the running in behind, along with the likes of Rashford, that speed, I think he really wants Martial there. You could see it in pre-season. And I think the more minutes he's getting on the pitch, I think the benefit of having Ronaldo, there now is you could see him working for the team against Sheriff. The only thing is he doesn't play in the lines. He keeps dropping back, and when you've got players like Eriksen and Fernandes there looking to play the ball in behind to someone like Rashford or a Martial, there's nobody there because Ronaldo is dropping back looking for the ball. So he's
also trying too hard nearly because some of the passes that he's trying to make are just not. Yeah. They're not hitting the target,
And I'm actually still waiting for this supposed speech.
Announcement.
Never happened. Just disappeared.
Surely someone has to call him out on that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
it's like a fucking Netflix series,
waiting for the next also season. That thing with knocking the phone out of Youngfless had a hand at Everton. I can't believe he's not been more severely punished over that either.
What came out about that? I've seen something. Briefly seen it.
A woman got a
50 grand fine or something.
Fine by the FA for violent conduct.
Yeah, something like that.
3 game suspension. Did he grow up? The kid threw his phone in his face. Say to be slapped.
He didn't get 3 game suspension, did he?
No, she wants him to get done under violent conduct by the FA, which is minimum 3 games.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah.
If I get beaten and someone shoves the phone in my face, it's getting fucking
smashed. It's getting launched. It is. Fuck that. I'm not just slapping out of hand. I'm taking it out of hand. I'm launching the fucking thing. Conor, what's your thoughts on United this season? Obviously, performances have been a lot better under Ten Hag. What do you make of them?
Yeah, I think he came in and he sorted what people were afraid to do by the looks of things beforehand, dropping the big names, the stars on paper, whatever you want to say, and building an actual team as opposed to having a couple of individuals scattered across with it. It's he has them working again, which does this come down to again, can he keep it going? I suppose people started working under Ollie initially and then the arse fell out of it. Is it the new manager syndrome? I don't think by his attitude and by the way he slams players when they're not working hard enough, I don't think it is. I think that's the way he is. So I've been impressed so far, to be honest. It's what a save.
God fucking hell. Spank that.
Kenny out.
What a goal.
Kenny out. Armenia, here we go. Comeback's on.
That was a great save.
We're too fucking committed going forward. Why can't we just sit and park the bus? Kenny out.
But no, you've been pretty impressed. Dropping Ronaldo is not an easy thing to do for a manager. I'm sure of it, especially when you have American owners who can see Ronaldo's shirts declining because he's not playing. So dropping him is huge. It's the right move to do as well. I don't think especially when you come into a month where you have 10, 11, 12 games to play, you can't play all of them. So, they're back playing. I know Paddy was saying earlier about football modernising and people progressing. United are finally playing modern football with a bit of a press, a bit of a step, and playing quickly as opposed to this. It's always slow, let teams come on to us, and then we're not counter-attacking very quickly. It's a ball around the corner, or that's it. We have nothing else. They have more than one dimension now.
Yeah, which is always something it's always something we used to criticize Ollie for, wasn't it? Where he wasn't able to adapt to another tactic or another substitution, or like he wasn't able to make them correct decisions. Ten Hag seems to be doing it.
Was perfect. Exactly.
Oh my god!
2-0.
Oh, it's fucking 2-0.
It's fucking 2-0. I fucking told you, Stephen Kenny out right now. Absolute shambles. This is a disgrace. 2-2 against at home against Armenia. Why are we still going forward? Why are we not parking the bus? What is going on?
We weren't even going forward there.
And what did we lose it from playing out from the back? It was either one or the other.
No, we lost it from going backwards from midfield.
Here we go.
Look at this.
We're playing out from the back, though. We're playing out from the back. Look at that. What are we doing? That doesn't happen if you launch the ball.
Bad from the keeper as well.
Conor Hurrihan, was it?
Gavin Bazunu.
No, Conor Hurrihan.
Yeah, well, obviously he's right, that's it. Kenny out. This is embarrassing, lads. We should not be fucking conceding 2 goals against Armenia. We spoke about this at the start of the podcast. Look at this shite. Look at this shite. This is what I'm talking about. This type of shit is what I am talking about. An Ireland team doing this, like, why are we still doing it? It's just absolutely scandalous, and it shouldn't be happening. You can't concede 2 goals.
Wait until Ireland score in the 93rd minute. It's the best thing that's ever happened in Ireland.
No, yeah. So this is what's going to happen. We're going to score in the 92nd minute and 18 seconds, and it's going to be class, and Kenny's going to be in. Lads, we always talk about. I think we touched on it last week about how good Man City are. Do you think Man City made a mistake in getting rid of the likes of Sterling and Nathan? Oh no, not Nathan. That guy. Who was we get rid of his centre back, didn't they?
No, they got rid of Zinchenko.
Zinchenko. Do you think them type of
and Jesus?
Do you think them type of sales are a mistake, or do you think obviously they're winning games still, but do you not think it takes away from their squad depth, or do you think that's
wanted to go though?
I was going to say, or do you think that's just players wanting to go and just not having a player unhappy there?
Yeah, players wanted to go. And it's better to have a harmonious dressing room than a toxic dressing room from players that don't want to be there, because you see that in teams a lot of the time when it becomes a cancer in the dressing room.
Yeah.
Happy players.
Conor, what's your thoughts on Haaland in terms of goals? How many do you think he's going to get this season?
This is what I was saying. He'll get less because of Pep's style of football, I think, because they won't play that ball around the corner, that more directish ball that he's used to. It's either he learns and he stops making those runs to save and conserve energy, or eventually someone like De Bruyne has started to do a little bit more. De Bruyne is playing a lot more direct football now than he would have before. A ball over centre halves, a ball into the corner for Haaland to chase onto. If the rest of them can clue on,
you got to score that header.
Great save.
You got
if the rest of them can clue on to that, if Mahrez, when he plays, can start crossing the ball more instead of trying to beat a man, if Bernardo Silva can. That's not a great save, actually. It's gone straight out.
Straight out, man.
If they can be that a little bit more direct, I think he can get 40 plus goals. He's obviously trending for a fucking 60 at the moment, but I don't think he can keep up that consistency. Even him, I don't think it's going to be as consistent. I do think he has that shock factor at the moment in the league that people will start to learn from.
Yeah.
Not going to say he's going to dry up completely, but he's still on for 35, I'd say, this season. He's going to be up thereabouts with regards to like record goal scoring in the Premiership.
Talking about like how good Man City are this season, and we're looking at them in the league. We're saying now that they've dropped points. Chances are they probably are the best team in the league, and probably the best team in Europe. Would I be wrong in saying that, Paddy? Would you think they're going to put a strong European challenge against everyone this season? Like, I mean, obviously know they got to the final against Chelsea and lost. But do you think that they're going to win the Champions League this season? Maybe.
Oh, you still can't really put them above Real Madrid. I don't think.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're thereabouts. I think Madrid have improved this season a lot as well.
Yeah, they have. They have.
And Hazard to come back in.
One of the best teams in Europe. Yeah, based on performances, but they still haven't won it.
I know.
They still haven't won it, and until they do win it, then you can't really class them as world beaters or one of the best teams in the world because they're just not performing on the elite level, the truly elite level.
Jesus Christ. Paddy, I just want to get your opinion on something, right? I was listening to another podcast when I was driving down to Limerick. And it's okay. It was different.
It was called Football Bets for You.
Yeah, it was Football Bets for You. It was like 2 years old or something like that. But your man won like loads of money. No, he didn't. I was listening to a podcast called The CEO or The Diary of a CEO.
Very good podcast.
Yeah. Did you listen to the one with Gary Neville on it?
Yes.
Can I ask you, what's your honest opinion of Gary Neville when he's talking about Manchester United?
Biased.
Okay.
Biased. If I was to just pick one word, I'd say biased, but honest. And I understand his bias because he loves the club. And that's one thing you can never say. He loves the club like any fan. Like, he's passionate about the club.
If I was to say this word to you, delusional, how would that make you feel about Gary Neville?
It's like a therapy session.
You'd have to give me an example as to how he thinks delusional.
The reason I'm saying that is I really like Gary Neville. I think he talks a lot of sense and he's very knowledgeable about the game. Obviously, it wasn't proven when he went to Valencia. But when he starts speaking about Manchester United, I sometimes think his logical thinking goes out the window. There was a question that what's your man's name?
I don't know.
Steve Bartlett, yeah. So there's a question that he asked him, and I think the answer that he got or he gave was absolutely ridiculous. And it was basically saying, why will Manchester City never be better than Manchester United? And he basically was saying they can't be. They can never be. The foundations are too deep for Manchester United. And I understand what he's trying to say in terms of, I don't think Manchester City will ever be a bigger club as a whole anytime soon than Manchester United. But if Manchester City keep winning the way they're winning, why can they not be that club in 15, 20 years? And why does this whole like they just can't? The foundations are too deep. It's almost like he's living on the past and not really logically thinking about what's actually going on now. And all the excuses he gives are all, I think, silly.
Well, I know what he means. And I'll be quite honest with you, it's the same argument I'd give about Chelsea. I don't think Chelsea or City will ever have the same lineage, history, or stature that Liverpool and Manchester United have, because they're, as a club, they've been successful nearly since day dot. In terms of generationally, they've been.
United went 25 years without winning a league before Fergie got there.
Yeah, I know that.
Would they have been classed as a big of a club?
They put England on the map in Europe. That type of history. Yes, we did. We were the first club to win the European Cup.
Sorry, the first ones, yeah, but not like prolific. Not far.
We were the first ones. That I'm talking. We were the first ones, so we put England on the map in terms of Europe.
I would have thought Liverpool would have been more. Well, at like back in, I'm talking pre-Fergie days.
Yeah,
Liverpool probably would have been the team. Like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
I think Fergie has made that club what it is.
Absolutely,
and the success he's had, 13 Premier League titles.
But what happened at Manchester United was, and again, why they kind of get away with not winning it as much is because what happened to the Busby Babes after we won the European Cup and the plane crashed and the whole shebang. We lost the whole team, and the club was rebuilt again into a successful team again. It's that type of history that Man City will never have, and that's what he means.
But in 10, 15 years' time, are they not? And I used to always have this about I always have this conversation, and when people say that about, like, if I talk to any United fan, any Liverpool fan, they'll say Chelsea have no history, and I'm saying we're currently making history, our own history. Like not currently, but the last 15 years, 20 years, with the likes of the John Terry and all that, and we won the league for the first time in whatever it was, 50 years. Like we were making history. So when people say to me, "Oh well, the club has no history," I'm saying we have a more recent history than most clubs. We were probably the most successful English team in terms of trophies in the last 20 years. So when people say that to me, and then I just get shut down. Yeah,
I know, and I totally understand. And my great grandkids, like if there's Chelsea or Man City supporters, will probably be able to feel the same as United and Liverpool supporters do today, because they'll have generations of history there where they're winning, where they're successful, where they're dominating the league, and then you can kind of sit back and go, which is I can nearly not remember a time when my club wasn't a big club.
Jesus, sorry.
I think that's where Gary Neville is coming from. A bit deluded. Yeah, possibly, because I understand your point of view as well. I do. Yeah. Like I'm giving the argument from his point of view. From somebody's that's not, he's from over there as well. Like his family support, he's born and bred.
I could hear I could hear the passion, and did we just kick that out of play?
Training the touch.
So attractive, this football. I'm like so turned on by this football right now. So sexy. Like, and Paddy, sorry, going back to Gary Neville, that's why I can see the passion in him for the club and for the city where he was born, where he was raised, where he grew up. And I could see the stuff he's doing, the entrepreneurial stuff, all of his hotels, everything, the university he's building, it's all in Manchester. So it's all back to his community, which he loves. And I get that. So that's why I'm saying, does he become blinded by his love for the club when he starts talking about United and starts really not talking a lot of sense sometimes?
I wouldn't say deluded, because what he says does make sense. Man City will never have the history that Manchester United have. So they'll never be the same type of club as Manchester United are. Yeah, if you boil it down to basics, they never will be. No matter how many trophies they win, they'll never have the lineage of Manchester United.
Just a quick one in. He does not really hold back here. Because of a fucking plane crash, and City gave them the players to carry on. You're talking shy, Sheridan. Which is true. I believe Manchester City did actually give a lot of players to United after that incident to show.
That's why we were shy for a while.
Unity. So no, look, that's sorry. I did want to just ask you about
No, it was a really good podcast and a good conversation as well, actually, because I do see exactly where you're coming from. And as a Chelsea supporter, you probably see similarities there, thinking, because you probably got your back up a bit as well, thinking, well, I support Chelsea, and probably the same thing can be said about Chelsea, and you don't agree with that, obviously, because maybe you're a little bit deluded as a fan. We all are as fans at times.
Yeah. I just think he's got the platform. He's on a platform where he has to try act professional, but his passion for what he loves comes through too much sometimes. Yeah. And look, that was a podcast. He was well entitled to be fucking completely biased on that one. So I was okay. I understood that anyway. I just wanted to get your opinion on what you thought and what the United fans thought of Gary Neville. I know he's, as a fan, he's probably one of the fan favorites, similar enough to John Terry, who fucking sleeps and breathes the club. Like,
so speaking of podcasts, I said on his the Overlap podcast, he had a Paddy the Paddy as well, and your own, and Jesus, the stick they were giving him because they're from Liverpool and they hated him growing up. You know what I mean? It was a very good podcast. Recommended that. Very good.
Yeah, must check that out. To be honest with you, I haven't actually looked at any of the Overlap or listened to any of the Overlap.
Really good.
Is it? Yeah.
He's doing all the overlaps now because he didn't do them when he was playing.
Yeah. What? Oh, I got sick in my mouth there.
Oh, fucking hell!
Looking at this match, was it?
Sorry, I actually just got sick in my mouth. Conor, what do you think of Gary Neville as a pundit and as a kind of what I've been just saying about him, talking shy about United sometimes?
Big fan of Neville on his own. When he gets talking about United is a little bit much, but when you can obviously
bring them down to earth. Yeah,
character side of things as well, where they'll both play off
yeah.
each other. They're both equally as far fetched in the opposite directions, and they do find a middle ground in between, which is good. Around like that history side, I think history of clubs will last 3 generations typically, like anything. Where if United had went from 1990 until Paddy's great grandkids, will they still be talking about United in the same vein like they're talking about it now? 100% no, they didn't do anything in between. We're not exactly talking on and on about Notts Forest, the Notts Forest team of the mid-60s who were phenomenal in their field.
In Europe,
Instead, the 70s and in Europe.
Hold on a sec, lads. There's a penalty check here.
For Ireland.
Is it for Ireland?
He's gone to the screen as well. It's a penalty.
It's a penalty.
If he's gone to the screen, it's a penalty. Are Ireland going to get away with this?
Kenny in. Oh, we said it. Let's have a look.
Oh, that's definitely handball.
How can you give that though?
Definitely.
I think he puts his hand out, doesn't he?
Definitely armed the ball,
doesn't he?
He puts his hand. The thing that gives that away is the open hand. Look, that's the thing that gives it there. I think the open hand.
He moved his hand. Yeah, he moved it.
It looks like he's moving it towards the ball though to get it into his chest or into his side maybe.
He's still looking,
and he's not. He's given the pen 100%. If you go there, it's a goal.
No, because there's players. Is he looking if there are players in behind him?
Oh, from there, it doesn't look there as much.
I think it does there.
He's pulling his hand back.
Penalty. Yeah, it's penalty. Jesus, that's a harsh penalty, but he's very close to him. But I think the open hand
away from the body.
It's slightly away from the body, and the open hand I think makes it look like he's trying to slap the ball almost.
He had men in on the cover as well.
He's been sent off. Oh, he's going to hit him.
Give him a dig. Oh, that would be classic.
Oh, he's going back to him.
Go on.
No, he's going through the tunnel, I think.
That would have been great crack.
Right, well, we have a pen here.
He's very lucky for a full-time UFC for a patron.
Lads, whatever about it, if we get the result, we get the result here. But conceding 2 goals against Armenia when we're 2-0 up, the tactics should have been different from that point. We definitely shouldn't have been fucking still trying to go for it. We should have been playing a bit more common sense there. That's my issue with it. With that type of fucking football.
Oh, he's another player sent off.
Jesus. They're all getting sent off.
He's throwing them around the place here.
Match abandoned.
Oh.
Another fella trying to go at him there. This is absolute fucking shit show. Bet you after all this, he'll miss the fucking panel.
He's got to go up at 6:30 in the morning to bake bread.
He has to row home first.
He's signing on the dole on Thursday morning.
Sorry for anybody that's
talking about.
For anyone that's listening, we're watching a panel here.
So did we get? I suppose the game's nearly over now, so we better get.
We get score predictions. Paddy, give us yours.
I'm gonna go with a 2-1 win for United, and Rashford to score.
Fair enough. Robbie Brady, Conor, what do you think?
1-1 Haaland.
Lads, I think Manchester United are going to get swiftly brought down to earth here, and I think they're going to spank them. I think it's going to be 3-0 to Man City, and I think Haaland's going to score 2 goals. Here we go, Roberto Brady.
We covered all bases again, lads.
Surely he goes goalkeepers left. All left footers go goalkeepers left.
What can we do here? Roberto Brady, give me some magic.
I know
plays.
What happens already, but I won't ruin it.
Good. Shut your face.
Paddy.
Oh.
No, you're not scoring now because you're not upset.
Yeah, we know he's going to score, yeah.
Yeah.
Woo. Paddy didn't ruin that at all. Right, well, we got the result, lads. That's all that matters. I don't give a bollocks about the type of football we played. We played absolute bullshit when we were 2-0 up, which I don't agree with. The fucking horseshit tactic. It doesn't work when we're 2-0 up. That is my point right there. And now we're after getting very, very, very lucky with a fucking penalty, and we're win. Again, the only thing that matters to me is a result. So once we get a result, I'm happy with that. But in terms of,
you're not happy though, you still want Kenny out.
I 100% want him out. I don't like the way he's done that with the fucking. We shouldn't be conceding 2 goals against these. Everyone's like, oh, no, yeah, look at the excitement. That's exciting football. 3-2. We won 3-2 last minute. Fuck off. Give me 1-0 win. Park the bus for 90 minutes. See you later. I'd be happy. Lads, we're gonna end the podcast there. I think. There's not much else happening. Did I give me? I gave him score prediction, didn't I? Lads, we're gonna be back. Will we hang on until the match is fully over in case we miss something?
We have fancy football.
Oh, we can do. Yeah. Give me a second. Huh? Give me a second.
What's happened since?
No, we had a thing last week. We had a round last week. I'll just give a quick update on
There's international football in last week.
Well, we didn't do a podcast last week, so we didn't do the last round of fixtures.
Yeah. I'll give an update on the league table here, lads. We won't go through the teams, right? We'll just give an update on the league table. Okay. So we'll go to the full league table, and I'm going to share my screen right now. Again, anyone watching or listening on fucking Spotify. Actually, anyone that's watching on YouTube and all that type of shit, just make sure you follow, subscribe, all that shit, like, comment. Should probably say that.
Bit of enthusiasm. Like, subscribe, hit that little bell. Woo!
Get your bell.
Yeah, right. Get your bell out. Right, lads, let's have a look at the teams here, or the league. I'm going to pull that up a little bit bigger so we can all see it. Sitting at top of the table, lads, and I think he's been here the whole time, Oisin Kane, Kane City. So sitting there with 492 points, currently 2 points ahead of David's injury list, who got 69 points this week.
Well,
great stuff. Great score. Then we have who are all the players. Not supposed to be the players, but I'm going to say the players just to piss them off. It's Paul Connolly, 477 points. Then we have Tony Tam. It's a great name. Spontan. And 474 points. And then in 5th place, we have Craig Mooney FC, 467. So there's a guts of 20 or 30 points separating top 5, lads. We will have a look at a round table, will we, between ourselves? It's not going to make great looking for myself and Conor, but there we are.
80 points. What a week I had. What a week.
Jesus.
You make changes quick.
That's horrendous at the moment. Conor sitting in 3rd position. What's going on, Conor? How come you're 3rd? I mean, you're only fucking 9 points behind me.
Yeah, you know, I forgot that most of the teams aren't playing that last week. So
fair enough.
You do.
And then I am 2nd, 49 points with 374 points. Paddy, an astonishing 80 points this week. You've taken a nice 50-point gap there, or 47 points. What is your secret? How are you so far away?
And I looked at the picture. Yeah.
Rookie.
I done free hit, and then I done wild card for this week to make it changes up.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. So
and you're gonna tell us your changes?
Making moves? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Surprise for next week.
Lads, before we actually...
It's not a great week for fantasy football, is it really? With all the top teams playing each other. I don't like that.
I don't know. Lads, with all the... Oh, that's a handball. Is that not a handball?
Fucking foul anyway.
Yeah, your man's gone mad. With all the stuff that's gone on, lads, can we give top 4 predictions? We said we were going to do it last time, Paddy. We never done it. We're going to re-predict the top 4 after seeing the first couple of games. Conor, can I get yours? Next?
I'll do it in the next episode. Yeah. Give us a bit of time to think about
it. Paddy is the researcher.
Yeah.
Right, lads, we're going to be ending it here because that's a header out and Ireland have won.
Still going on at the moment. But
because on the next episode, maybe we give our top 4 predictions and also our rationale as to why we're picking those 4, rather than just picking top 4 off the top of our heads.
Do you know what I'd love to do some week?
I'd love to head and give no reasons why.
Lads, you know what I'd love to do some week, right? And it'd be, I don't know if it'd work, but it'd be gas. If we just gave out the link on the page and said anybody that wants to join the podcast, let them join in and we can bring them in and let them talk shit. I think it'd be gas. Yeah. Put them in, because if they're doing that, we can just get rid of them anyway.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be pretty funny. I think to do that. I don't know.
You'll have a few friends showing up. What do you think?
Yeah, a few friends, all right. Right, lads, we're gonna end it there. Before we do, we're gonna score. Oh, it's embarrassing. We just missed a sitter. Lads, we're gonna be back next Tuesday. What time do we even do the podcast at? Is it 7:30?
8 o'clock.
Is it 8 o'clock? All right. 8 o'clock Tuesday, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow, like, comment, all that good stuff. And we will talk to everybody next week.